I got the privilege of getting my hands on the Yamaha Tenere 700, but the question wasn't whether it's a good bike or not. The question was, how well would it perform off-road against a true dual sport such as the Yamaha WR250R on an off-road adventure. We decided to go on a 400-kilometer adventure in the not-so-snowy Australian snowy mountains. The journey would take us from highways, gravel roads, dirt tracks, and places where tracks don't even exist. In a full day of riding, we had to make it 400 kilometers and ride up to the summit of Mount Colossus. I'd normally feel comfortable doing a ride like this on the lightweight WR, but the Tenere is a much heavier bike. Now for the adventure, let's have a look at the lineup. In one corner, we've got a stock standard Yamaha Tenere 700 with its powerful 689cc twin-cylinder engine that produces 72 horsepower. And in the other corner, we've got the indestructible stock standard Yamaha WR250R with its 249cc single cylinder, which produces less than half the power at 30 horsepower. Oh, beautiful!
It's going to be the most anticlimactic little GoPro recording in the history of GoPro recordings.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Fuck you.
Oh!
No, I've seen worse. I've seen a guy on his mountain bike runs through the national park at 10 kilometers an hour with the GoPro, and he's like...
Oh, where'd you see that?
Yeah, hey?
Oh, that's mad.
On day one, we set out nice and early, riding across Bendigo's paddock. I immediately noticed that even though the Tenere 700 was much heavier than the WR at an additional 70 kilograms, it was fairly nimble and stable riding through the farm. The suspension on the Tenere would just easily absorb any unexpected ruts, and the bike was a pleasure to ride as we headed out to the gravel roads. Once we hit the gravel roads, we would be riding on them for the next 2 hours at speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour. And this is where the WR began struggling and the Tenere really shined. Normally on the WR, I'd feel the rocks unsettling the bike temporarily and affecting the bike whilst cornering. But on the Tenere, it felt much more stable and had the power to just keep gliding over the rocky gravel track. We rode the bikes well into the evening, crossing over gravel tracks and even some more intense off-road tracks. We even saw kangaroos and just had such a brilliant time on these two epic bikes.
Yeah, good. I got it on the camera. You're gonna fucking kill me or what, cunt?
Later that evening, we reached one of the most epic places I've ever camped, and shortly after we got into some shenanigans before setting up camp.
Oh, beautiful.
What's going on?
Beautiful.
Woo!
Beautiful. Rise and shine, Tiger.
Oh, what's going on, man? Oh, I feel cooked, eh?
After sleeping the entire night on what seemed to be a hard rock underneath our tents, we both felt cooked. But we headed straight back out and continued riding towards Mount Colossus. This would be the last leg of the journey and would be covering some much harder trails for the day. This would be the day that I truly got to test out the off-road capabilities of the Tenere 700. As we got closer to Mount Colossus, the trails began disappearing and the bushland became more dense. We had to slow down due to there being hidden hazards among the grass like logs and rocks. But it didn't matter how hard the track became. The Tenere 700 kept powering through. It seemed like the added horsepower and Dakar-inspired design of the bike compensated for its extra weight. There was nothing the WR250R could do that the Tenere 700 couldn't. Despite having stock tyres that struggled with gaining traction off-road, the Tenere just smashed through all kinds of terrain. The Tenere already came so capable in its stock condition, but by just adding some proper off-road tyres, it would definitely be a beast when it comes to riding off-road.
What the fuck?
As we reached Mount Colossus and had to ride up the part where the bikes couldn't travel, I knew for sure this was definitely one of the best adventure bikes ever made, and even though it was a middleweight adventure bike, it could keep up with the lighter bikes if you're a skilled rider.
Oh, dude.
So in summary, it all comes down to this. If you want a bike that is capable of comfortably cruising highway speeds, stable on gravel roads, and can even do some more technical and challenging off-roading, then the Tenere is definitely the bike of choice. It's got my tick of approval, and I believe it really provides a lot for the price.